The myth of NAV erosion in dividend investing. Dividend investors often worry about the impact of dividend distributions on a fund's or stock's net asset value, NAV. The concern is that dividend payments reduce the net asset value, thereby eroding the investor's principal. However, this concern is largely misplaced. In this video, we'll debunk the myth of NAV erosion and explore the realities of dividend investing. What is NAV erosion? NAV erosion refers to the perceived decrease in a fund's or stock's NAV due to dividend distributions. The assumption is that when a dividend is paid, the NAV decreases by the amount of the dividend, reducing the investor's principal. The myth. The myth of NAV erosion suggests that dividend investors are slowly losing their principal over time due to dividend payments. This misconception leads some investors to believe that dividend investing is unsustainable or even detrimental to long-term wealth creation. In reality, dividend payments do not erode NAV. When a dividend is distributed, the fund's or stock's NAV may decrease, but this decrease is offset by the dividend payment itself. The investor receives the dividend as income, which can be reinvested or used for other purposes. Why NAV erosion is a myth. 1. Dividends are a return of capital. Dividends represent a return of capital to shareholders, not a reduction in NAV. The dividend payment is a distribution of profits, which are a result of the company's operations, not a reduction in the company's value. Second, NAV decrease is offset by dividend payment. When a dividend is paid, the NAV may decrease, but this decrease is exactly offset by the dividend payment. The investor's total return remains unchanged. Third, dividend reinvestment. Many investors reinvest their dividend payments, which can lead to increased ownership in the company or fund over time. This reinvestment can actually increase the investor's NAV. 4. Long-term focused dividend investing is typically a long-term strategy. Over time, dividend payments can contribute significantly to an investor's total return, outweighing any perceived NAV erosion. 5. Tax efficiency. Return of capital dividends are not taxed as income, reducing the investor's tax liability. This tax efficiency can enhance the overall return on investment. Tax implications. In the United States, the IRS distinguishes between qualified dividends, taxed at long-term capital gains rates, 0%, 15%, or 20%. Non-qualified dividends, taxed as ordinary income. Return of capital dividends, not taxed as income. Instead, they reduce the investor's cost basis. Example: suppose you own 100 shares of a dividend-paying stock with a net asset value of $100. The company declares a $2 dividend, which reduces the NAV to $98. However, you receive $200 in dividend payments, 100 shares x $2 dividend. Your total return remains unchanged, as the dividend payment offsets the NAV decrease. Additionally, if the dividend is classified as a return of capital, you won't be taxed on it. The myth of NAV erosion in dividend investing is just that, a myth. Dividend payments do not erode net asset value. Instead, they represent a return of capital to shareholders. By understanding the realities of dividend investing, investors can focus on the long-term benefits of dividend investing, such as regular income, potential for capital appreciation, and tax efficiency.